This week in our collective heads, wanna put an old rumor to bed. Stereotype that you've all heard, how we're all just angry video game nerds. Most of us have actual jobs, kids and families and cats and dogs, yeah. This week in our collective heads, this week in our collective heads.
Welcome to This Week in Our Collective Heads. I'm Patrick, joined by Kevin.
And Spider-Man.
Yay! We love Spider-Man. We're giving you the gaming news like we do every single week. Here this week with some really weird news. Some news that's okay, and some weird stuff. So I'm going to start with the weird.
Yeah, let's do that.
Why not? Why not? So we talked about Games with Gold and PlayStation Plus, which is one thing that we talk about a lot. We talked about that last week, and now we have rumors/leaks of November's PlayStation Plus games.
The way this came out was kind of interesting because for a hot minute, the PlayStation Plus blog, like the official blog, showed because what they do is they have like an image that shows like the PlayStation 4 games, and then in the article they'll have the information on the PS3 and the Vita games. Yeah. So on that graphic, it changed from, I forget what it is this month, Friday the 13th and something.
Laser Storms.
Laser League,
yeah.
So it changed from that to Bulletstorm, the remake, and Yakuza Kiwami, which I'm actually kind of excited about Yakuza Kiwami because that's a series that I've wanted to get into for a while, and so this is kind of my excuse to do that.
I feel the same way. I love Bulletstorm, by the way. I was cheering about how great Bulletstorm was when it was not selling any copies. But Yakuza is a series I've been wanting to get into for the same reasons as you. It's renowned. It's supposed to be deep in its storytelling, but I'm a sucker for gangster movies and crime wave stuff. So.
Kiwami specifically is also a really good entry point because it's not based on the other, like it's the same universe, but it's not based on any of the ones before. So you don't have to know what's going on in the story. And it kind of does a recap. That information comes from the biggest Yakuza fanboy I know over on IGN, Max Scoville. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's really good because I don't know anything about Yakuza other than
exactly.
It's in Japan, and they're the Yakuza, and they don't like the triads. And I got that information from I guess Street Knowledge and The Office. So that's about it.
Continuing with weird news. Google has said that Odyssey is going to be on Chrome. You saw this, right?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, so like if anybody can do like the streaming game thing, like I want Google at the forefront of that.
This is the company. Xbox has been trying to do it, but Google could just nail this. Google could knock this out of the water. And you know what? How amazing would it be to not have to be able to play any of these games via your browser?
Yeah.
I mean, gaming PCs could be a thing of the past for... No, not a thing of the past, but gaming PCs could be even smaller of a niche market. I mean, if you have a laptop, if you have a desktop, and you can stream your game...
Well, I suspect that this will also be something that's it's another subscription service, and it's another subscription option for like, okay, if you don't want to stay like right on top of the newest and baddest, as far as that goes, then you put your streaming or your internet speeds way up, and then you subscribe to the service, and then you can play whatever. And so
you think it's good? I mean, did they say it was going to be like a streaming service like that? Or
no, Project Stream is a beta test, but Google kind of has to do that. In my opinion, that's the way to approach this.
You don't think that they're going to do a subscription? Well, I guess if they did a subscription model for new games, there's no way that developers and publishers would allow that. Right. So unless you allow it to buy a la carte. I don't think that... I mean, if they allowed you to purchase a game a la carte and play it...
Yeah, then where's Google getting the money? I mean, like...
Well, no, I mean, like, what if they said, okay, you have to be a member of such and such, right? And you have to be a you have to be a Project Stream member. And then we'll also, if you're paying your monthly due, also you could buy a brand new game for $60.
That's the subscription model that I was talking about. That was what I had in mind.
Oh, okay. I mistook that. I thought you meant just subscriptions. So yeah, buying it as subscription and a la carte. Yes, that'd be amazing. I would like that. Because it would be what Xbox is trying to do when it comes to PC Play Anywhere. It'd be even more amazing if they could. Xbox and PlayStation wouldn't contract with this though. Steam is the only one that I could be like, well, maybe Chrome could pair up with Steam where it's like, well, I pay my $60, I get a Steam key, and I get to stream it. That would be amazing. But I don't know if it'll happen. And I mean, the PC market is still or has been a smaller and smaller niche market. Because I mean that because you have mobile gaming, you have console gaming, and all of these others that are going on, and PC gaming, because you have to understand how to work on your PC, or you have to have money or a friend who can do it for you. I feel like PC is going to stay a niche market, and if this happens, then it's going to even be a smaller niche market. If this happens well, if this is executed well.
I think this is also an incentive for companies to bump up the quality of internet service that they're providing. Because like I have a gigabit connection. I don't know what your connection is at your new place, but like for me, the speed is an absolute priority, and I think that's something that the United States is going to begin to demand. And this is something that is only going to take place in like the big areas, the big cities, on the coast, things like that, because frankly, we're lagging behind on infrastructure. You know this, I know this. People listening out there, if you're watching our show, you probably know this. But this is another reason that as technology continues to improve, we have to be working on the infrastructure to support it.
And what sucks is because of the way our society and our country is ran, it can only be done when when a bunch of businesses decide to all do it together. Yeah. And it's not something that we can force from a government point of view, because if you force something like that, you're basically saying, okay, I need all of your companies to shell out a ton of money to upgrade your bandwidth, as opposed to England and other places where it's government run or government subsidized, government run to an extent, where they can say, okay, here's the new standard, you have this much time, everything gets brought up. Yeah. We don't get that. The perfect example of that I bring up when people talk about the complete crap when it comes to if the federal government says something, and the FCC says something, and then you have to have businesses do it. How many times do you go into a store where you use your card that has a chip in it, and they're like, oh no, you have to swipe, we don't have chips yet? Yeah. Beginning of 2018, every company had to adopt the chip and run with a chip. Beginning of 2018. Half of the stores that I go into
this year.
Yeah, and half the stores I go into are not complying, which means they're going to be fined. Well, there's enough stores that aren't doing it, there are businesses, and they've had a bunch of people complaining saying, well, we can't afford that, this is too quick. You were given 2 or 3 years to do this. And you go into other countries, and it's like you have a chip, you have a pen. It's like there's multiple forms every single time. If I go to Lowe's, I think it's a swipe. If it's debit, there's no standardization because the business has said, I don't want to. And it's the same thing that happens with internet connections. That's the reason that I'm going on this rant, because the Verizon can say, I don't want to upgrade yet, or they can say, it's going to cost me a lot, so I'm going to increase the price for every single one of my members for the speed that they're paying now. So it's really irritating because I'm already paying a lot for my internet connection and for my cell phone connection. They should be taking their profits and building up their infrastructure, but they won't. Yeah,
but you know what you got for free when you bought Assassin's Creed Odyssey? You got a pretend Korok.
Yes, I did.
Have you been to like actually look at it? Because I haven't gotten Odyssey yet.
I have not gone to it, so I saw the video. It made me very happy, but there is a small island in Odyssey, which I don't think this is a spoiler at all. So
No.
eat me if you comment that I'm spoiling Odyssey for you, because Zeus is in the game. I don't know if he is, but I just thought that'd be funny. So there is a small island that if you go onto the island, there's a ring of small rocks and what looks like a little dollish thing, and it's basically a Korok from Breath of the Wild, which I thought was one of the coolest things, a great homage to an amazing game. And they wanted to show an homage to that, and it's very subtle. I probably would have missed it if this hadn't been over the internet.
Yeah, but I like the fact that they're putting little nods like that, and that so many companies are like that gaming as a whole is kind of getting better at, hey, we like this game, you like this game too, and like, you know, I mean, Shovel Knight's in every fighting game for the last 3 years, I think so, and something like, I mean, stuff like that, and so that's really fun to get to watch. So I like it when they do stuff like that. There are, however, areas where there is a lot of hostility, and some of it, I'm curious about your thoughts on this. So the guy who wrote the Witcher books is now suing CD Projekt Red, saying that he didn't get compensated properly for the success that the games had, and it seems to me very similar to the Superman thing. It's like, okay,
Yes.
I understand that you made you made this decision, but part of the reason, and he's even said this, Soderbergh has actually said this, that that he took the money up front because he was like, video games don't make money. I don't play video games. I don't like video games. Why would they do that? And so, yeah, he took the $9,000 up front, and then, you know, over the 3 games that CD Projekt Red has made, they turned The Witcher into a very successful thing. And he says that his books have become increasingly popular, but that's not related to the games at all.
Okay,
and I'm like,
that part he's trying to downplay, and I think it may be also part of a language, but not a translation issue, but kind of like there's something lost in that translation of that, because I think what he's referring to, which there's complete legal precedent for this in the United States. I don't know which court this goes under, though. I have limited understanding of Polish court systems. So if you are a lawyer in Poland, please let us know if there is some type of corroboration for this, because the legal what his lawyers sent out basically amounts to, like, if you are paid X amount for a product or an intellectual property in this for this, and then they take that and they make way more money than anyone ever expected.
Yeah.
You are allowed to basically renegotiate that.
Yeah,
He
and
believes these are
the particular clause in there said that if it was like 2 to 3 times, and we're way past 2 to 3 times.
We're way past that. This is very similar to what happened with, like you said, with Superman, with the creators of Superman. There are reasons. There are I mentioned that because when it comes to a U.S. court system, when they look at how to exercise the law, how to weigh in on something, you look at previous cases that are almost the same cases.
Yeah.
To me, Superman is a great example of that, and there are others as well, where someone was not given the right compensation in the beginning, and they should be given more afterwards. I think that he has a right to ask for more money. Completely has the right to do that. I think that the amount that he's asking for, was it 16 million?
Yeah, it was a pretty ludicrous number. I'm
thinking 1 to 2. I'm thinking 1 to 2.
Yeah, one other thing that they said was that that the author, and I saw this. I'll have to confirm this later. If I'm wrong, I'll put it down in the comments or in the drop down. But he said that he would give them also like Mistborn or Mist something for free, which is another like mini book series that he wrote. And I'm like,
it's not Mistborn. Mistborn's Brandon Sanderson.
Well, right, but it was Mist something, and I'm like, okay, but if you're suing for ridiculous amounts of money, offering to give them this other one for free that nobody knows is not real. You're not really doing yourselves any favor. You don't look like any more the good guy here.
That's also a common tactic when it comes to renegotiation.
Yeah.
It's not a court thing, but renegotiation, yes. George R. R. Martin has done this, and many other people have.
Oh, yeah.
But it's not done as a court. It's done as a renegotiation. Like when, if you're like, all right, we're going to do we're going to do like the prequels to Game of Thrones, and he could say, because he could have said, nope, this is all you got, this is all you get.
Right.
And he instead said, okay, we'll do prequels, and I also want you to do this other stuff as well, so you have to pay me for all of it.
Right.
And they said yes.
So that would be something similar to the Middle Earth games, or the Shadow of games, because it's like they had an extremely limited scope as far as what they were able to talk about. You can't talk about the books, you can't talk about the movies, you can only reference them. And it was like, and even so, they managed to create a quality game. So anyway, so I don't have a whole lot of Polish legal knowledge. Neither of us do, frankly.
Let us know in the comments if you're a Polish lawyer, though, because we'd like to hear your inputs on this. I know we're really big in Poland, so this may help. PlayStation, apparently, and I'm sorry, but I'm a naysayer. I'm saying I'm going to wait until it actually happens. Game developers say that they are preparing for PlayStation name changes to be available. Now, we don't have details on this. This is kind of a prep thing. It's not necessarily a leak. It's essentially developers saying, hey, this is something we're working on.
Yeah, and it's something that specifically Sony told them to be working on. And so this might be, we didn't really talk about this much because at that point it was kind of a non-story, but the 6.0.0 update didn't really seem to do anything, and there's speculation that this might have been preparation for that. Maybe, but...
I'm hopeful. I think that it's funny because almost every single person that I talk to who has a PlayStation account, I don't know if you're in this camp, but almost every person that I know who has a PSN account, regrets their name and wishes that they could change it. I don't think yours is bad.
No, mine isn't bad, and I'm also part of the Pi family, which is kind of amusing, but. Yeah, so we'll see what happens there. But yeah, this is just kind of hey, this is more likely to happen sooner than it was before.
Yeah, I mean, I changed my PlayStation name because PlayStation, if you, and I've still, please let me know in the comments if you have a way around this, because I have been trying to find a way and I can't. If you're not the person who purchased the game, then you can't play the game, the digital game that is on your PlayStation. You said that something about like make it your home console?
Yeah, the primary console is a thing that...
Mine's primary, so maybe I need to talk to tech support, because if I buy a game digitally, Whitney can't play it on her account. She has to play it on my account. Now that's an irritant, but it's not another minor one I can't remember if I told you about for streaming. So I have my Xbox and the PlayStation are ready to stream, but you can't stream on someone else's account on the same device. So Whitney can't stream on TWIOCH for me. She has to stream on my account.
That's bizarre.
It's on PlayStation and Xbox. It's the same way. It's tied to your account. It's like link your device. Okay, cool. My device is linked. It's like, yeah, it's on another account.
Oh, you and I can both stream on TWIOCH.
Different devices. We have different PlayStations. But my Xbox, my single Xbox, or my single PlayStation, the same, like, if I tried to log into, I was stupid, but essentially, Whitney was like, hey, I want to stream Assassin's Creed. Yeah. And I was like, great, because I want her to stream more, because she plays a lot of games, she's good at it, it gives us more content, why not? And she's like, crap, I can't stream. And I was like, what's wrong? So I tried to troubleshoot it, and I realized, oh, that's why. So, irritated about that, Xbox, Twitch, and everybody.
Speaking of things that irritate us, okay, so continuing the Telltale saga that has gotten to be a story that is 25% as interesting as the Clementine story.
This is the song that doesn't end.
Right. Okay, so last week we reported that Telltale had laid off 90% of their staff. They just had a skeleton crew to finish off the Netflix Minecraft whatever thing.
Minecraft story mode.
Right, Minecraft story mode. So then we got, okay, everybody at the Skeleton Crew got laid off. And then actually this morning, as of Saturday night / Sunday morning, they said, oh wait, Skybound, which is what's the
Robert Kirkman. Robert Kirkman is the author and creator. Yeah.
Yeah,
Walking Dead.
Kirkman's studio company, whatever, is like, okay, well, we're gonna hire all the people back, and then we're gonna finish it with the original creators. That's cool, but this has been going on for several weeks. I'm curious, and we've reached out to Skybound, haven't heard back yet. I'm curious if they're going to take care of the employees that were fired before. Like if the severance, because this was something that I saw a lot of people talking about. We're like, okay, well, what about the fired people? Like, how are you gonna take care of them? And so
I would love to know. I would love every one of them to come back, because this is their swan song. This needs to be. That was the point. And careers have ups and downs. You have things that change your career path, and this is a change in their career path, not by their choice, but also they could have finished the project and then moved on. They weren't given that choice.
Another thing that that is something that I didn't really think about until it was pointed out to me, but like people like the writers had already started working on episode 4, and I won't say how far along they were, but like they had already done a lot of work on the next episode that hadn't even started to be recorded or AI scripted or anything. And so there's various levels of like there's people whose work will be used after they were unceremoniously fired, after they didn't have their severance pay, but Telltale still owns the stuff that they made while they were there, and it's a really uncomfortable situation.
It's a cluster, and I'm really glad that, I'm hopeful that they hire everyone back and they say we're going to finish this entire thing. Kirkman has enough money to do this, and he also, not only does he have enough money to do this, but he's been smart with his money, from my understanding. He's wanting to diversify. Walking Dead's made him a ton of money, obviously, and this is a great example of an author being paid properly from what I understand. Obviously, let me know in the comments if I'm wrong, but he has enough money to fund this, and I think that shows how much he cares about his fans and how much he cares about the property. I think that he knew he could do this, and he's like, why not? I have the means. Let's do this properly. And he's going to get money off of it. Obviously the sales of the game is going to go, I'm going to buy it. I'll be honest, I'm going to buy them now, because I haven't bought the last couple, and I'm going to buy all of them and finish them because of this.
Another thing that I really appreciate about Kirkman is he supports and is with the fans of work that he didn't actually write that's based on his stuff. Like one of the things that he said, this was announced at the New York Comic Con. He actually said, well, we can't lose whatever the sheriff's name is
Clementine
on the TV show and Clementine in the same year.
Rick Grimes.
Grimes, yeah. We can't lose Grimes and Clementine in the same year.
Yeah.
And so like he is a fan of other people's work based on his work, and I really like that. I think that's a really cool thing. And I think the Walking Dead universe, I love the Walking Dead universe, but what I love about the Walking Dead universe is that it's essentially the George Romero universe from Night of the Living Dead. Yeah.
There's really no difference that I'm aware of, unless if they define what caused, not counting the last George Romero movie, because if you count the trilogy, Night, Dawn, and Day, they're amazing, they're perfect, and they're exactly what Walking Dead is, which is showing what people do in these situations. That's what this is all about. It's not about the zombies. People are like, oh, the zombies aren't threatening anymore. They're not really supposed to be.
Yeah.
It's a looming threat. It's horrible. It's disgusting. It's visceral. It's chaotic. But what do people do in those situations? That's why the governor and so many other characters are so great in the show, because it's not about the zombie.
Yeah.
We're scarier than any zombies. Crazy stuff that we'll do.
The zombies are the setting. They're not the characters. We are the humans are the characters. That's one of the reasons Train to Busan. Have you seen that one yet?
No, you mentioned it.
Okay.
I haven't seen it yet though.
Yes. That was actually that was something that popped up over on SCNS Live this week. They're doing kind of something similar to what we did before last year, a couple years ago, when we were talking about like some of our favorite Halloween movies, and they're doing like a daily, these are some of our favorites, and Train to Busan showed up on there, and that is my favorite fast zombie movie that I've ever seen.
Better than 28 Days?
Yes. Absolutely. And
28
again,
days
because it's about the characters and the people and what happens to these different kinds of people, because you're on a train, especially in Korea, the I guess the residents of the train, there's going to be a lot of differences. There's a high school baseball team, and there's like this high powered lawyer, and like there's this guy and his wife, and like there's all these different types of people, and to see how they react, as well as just there's a bunch of anonymous people that are like, okay, this is how they react. And so watching them come together, split apart, how they react in different ways. Like you said, the zombies are not really the characters that we're watching. We're watching the people and watching how they react to this.
Yeah. You mentioned trains. There's a movie that I missed and I'm going to be watching. If you guys want to have, I should have thought about this because we were talking about other things for the show. Instead of doing a book club, doing a movie club. And every week I announce a movie that we talk about afterwards. If you can keep up.
I can do that.
So this week's movie in the impromptu show that I just made up that I've been thinking about for a while, and the movie club is going to be Snowpiercer.
Okay. I have not seen that one yet.
Okay, are you familiar with that at all?
It has a train.
It has a train.
Based on comments I just heard a minute ago.
That's all you need to know, because
there's snow.
There is snow, and there's a train.
All right.
Do not.
I'm not going to.
No, I mean watch the movie, enjoy. Don't look up anything. We'll talk about it later,
right. And
we'll talk about an interesting fan theory linked to this movie. So let us know in the comments if you'd like to join the movie club. Yeah. So let us know in the comments if you want to join our movie club. We'll be watching Snowpiercer this week and talk about it next week. So watch Snowpiercer. Let us know in the comments next the video regarding Snowpiercer, but we'll announce these from here on. We'll announce these on their separate video. We'll have a separate little movie club for everyone to watch movies. I think this is going to be a fun one to watch movies that either one of us hasn't seen, which would probably be you for the most part, but also movies that I'm like if either one of us, like maybe it's a movie that I'm discovering like Snowpiercer, where I'm like, how did I not see this movie? And we'll be able to kind of go through that backlog, because that's fun. I think so. Let us know in the comments what you think about that, and what do you think about the gaming news this week, and are you excited about The Walking Dead finishing both in the show and in the game?
We will see you later, and, keep zombieing, if that's your thing.
Yeah. Kill them something? I don't know what the hook 'em horns?
Yeah, just fade it into the background. I don't know.
Thanks for watching This Week in Our Collective Heads. Subscribe over here and click the bell, and that way you'll know about any new videos that we put up, because we put up a lot of gameplay, a lot of stories from games and stuff like that, and gameplay is down here.
Yeah, and you got more editorials and news stuff down here. Check it out.